Okay, so do roll call. I'm here. There's Molly. Brad's here. Gary's not. Becky is not here. Jacob is here, and Larry. So we're
Present.
missing
So we have five of us.
Gary and
And Becky.
Becky. Okay. I have no announcements. Does anybody on the council have any announcements? Okay. Hearing none, we have nobody from the public for public comment. So we don't have our first person on. Did you talk to Michael Johnston, Molly?
Yes, he and Ernie Kim, his architect, were supposed to be on the meeting.
Okay.
Let me just check my phone in case either of them might have called me.
I don't see him in the waiting room.
I clicked the meeting link on the homepage of the website. That was very helpful. I don't know who did that, but
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Molly did. That was great. All the connections to the plans and everything. That was super.
Yeah, and a new format. I figured out how to do a Google Docs agenda. I messed up the formatting on the old one so bad that I created a new one, and I got the links to work finally. I don't have a link on that to the actual meeting. But the meeting link on the website works. So
yep. Yeah, I saw upcoming meetings and I'm like, August 4th, that's us. Okay.
Let me see if I can. I could call Mike Johnson and see if he's trying to get on.
That's a good idea.
You want me to do that? Okay, I'll go do that.
It took me a while to sign in this evening, so things are a little bit slow.
Yeah, I had no problem. I got right on. I must have been the one crowding you out, Larry.
Sometimes Zoom doesn't launch on your computer and then you have to download the app or something.
Yeah, he didn't answer. Let me try Ernie. I'll try Ernie Kim.
Okay.
Yeah, because Mike indicated they were both going to be here.
Do we have enough people for quorum to vote on it?
I think so. Yeah, we have I think we have a 5 and we have 7 members, so we have a majority.
That's all we need is a simple majority.
Mm-hmm. And I was reading the our bylaws and policy procedures on the land use committee, and really our charge is to just advise the council on how we feel about the project, but really we have 2 decisions to make. One is, or we can make one of 2 decisions. One is that we send it to the council to be on the regular agenda with our comments, or we send it to the consent agenda with no comments. And to do that, it has to be unanimous among all the members of the committee. But we can't make any decisions for the council.
Oh, right.
So we don't yet approve or disapprove. We just tell the council, yeah, we think it's a good project. No, we don't think it's a good project. And really each of us really have our own voice on how we feel about it, and all that voice is all then, relayed to the council in
Yeah,
general.
I just tried to call you.
Yeah.
So, do you have an ability to get on?
And of course, it's also too, the applicant may hear our comments and think, okay, I don't want to take it to the council yet because it's not ready, or I got to make some
Yeah.
changes because they don't want to take it and have the council not approve it or recommend against it. So
Mhm.
it gives them a chance to adjust.
And the council can come up with some questions that need clarification.
Right, and the council has, once it
No
gets to the
problem.
council can say, we're
Yeah.
not ready to make a decision, we want these answered, and come
Okay,
back
thanks.
and,
Okay, bye-bye.
do it.
No, but I mean here at land use
No, we
Land use
if
committee,
we
we can come up with a question and postpone a decision on a project, until we get clarification on it. We
Are you guys
can't
talking-
do that.
Are you guys
Go ahead.
talking
I guess we
generalities?
could. Well, we're talking about what our charge is as land use.
Oh,
But Larry, I think if the person, the applicant says, no, I want to go to the council now, then we can't stop it from going to the council. We don't have that kind of
No,
veto power.
But the applicant might also decide, I'll come back next month.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and with some better clarification on it.
exactly. And
Like-
because we're trying to help them say this might go better for you at the council if you had these things taken care of,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't even know that are coming to our meetings. They don't even know what the process is. They don't know the difference necessarily between our land use meeting and our full LOCAC meeting. They're just trying to get
Yeah.
the project through. But anyway, he said he would try to get on, but it might take him a few minutes.
So here's Michael now.
Yeah, there's a Michael.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's him. Michael Johnson.
Mhm.
Yep.
He's with this first
Johnson.
project.
So, Michael, well, he's getting his audio set up. Oh, wait.
He apologized. He said he'd forgotten about the meeting.
Excellent choice to call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, Michael, now you
So,
need to unmute.
There you go.
That's
Hi,
it.
Michael.
Well, I apologize.
You made it.
Thank you, Molly. Oh, goodness.
How you do? Hi, Michael. How you doing?
Well, hanging in there.
Good, good. I remember you, Michael, from your Morro Bay High School days. My wife Jennifer taught with at the high
I
school
just
when we were there.
looked at that name and thought, I know Jennifer Salio and I know Jim Salio. I was younger back then, Jim.
Oh, I was too. So, Michael, if you want to go ahead and present your project.
Sure. A little history. The Otto family had an auction in 1973. And my parents and my aunt and uncle, I was at Cal Poly at the time. Aunt and uncle's daughter was at Cal Poly. They came up, they found the auction going on, went to Baywood. Dad had a little sign that said he was number 71. They walked the whole peninsula. The Otto family owned the whole peninsula, Pasadena Drive. And Dad bought a lot. Uncle Ralph bought a lot. Uncle Ralph sold his afterwards. He had bills to pay for the family. And Mom and Dad had plans and permits to build in the mid-'80s. They were still thinking about tweaking the plans a little bit. Everybody thought it was fine. And then, as you well know, the door shut in the mid-'80s. Dad got on the particular list, number 6 on the list. He passed away, Mom passed away. And before he died, he said, He said, Michael, do me one favor. And I said, Pops, anything. He said, my only grandson, our son, William, he said, do whatever you can to build William a home on Pasadena Drive. I said, Pops, I'll do everything I can. Ernie Kim, do any of you know Ernie? See,
Yeah, I do.
Ernie's a good soul. He and I have worked through it. Working with the county on all of this has been a challenge since January, the whole batch program and all of that. Going to the Basin Management Committee meetings, trying to understand the standard models and the transient models and all of that. We still are pushing forward as best we can. The minor use permit I got from SWCA, that particular company today. I got the archaeological background on it, the biological and the wildlife, the snails and the kangaroo rats. That particular study should be done momentarily. We had, at one point, we had a water meter. So when I talked to Margaret, wonderful person that she is at the Community Services District, Margaret saw that it had a water meter in the early 90s. So I have the continue to serve water. I have the will serve for the sewer. But as you know, we're at that tumultuous time where we don't know how much we can do, how we can go forward. What else can I tell you about it?
Oh, maybe you could just tell us a little bit about the house, you know, like detached garage, the square footage, 2 stories, that kind of thing.
Well, I wish Ernie was here. I've got plans and I've got a model. One moment.
Well, we've actually reviewed some of your plans, the basic stuff that's been submitted to the county. So
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, so it's just
Looks like a nice
basic-
house. I mean,
yeah, looks like a very nice house. So you
Give
have
me 10 seconds and I'll get
okay.
sure.
I went down there and took a look at that lot. That's a primo location.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it's a
sure
really
is.
nice lot.
Yeah.
Now, how's this for show and tell?
Oh, there you
Very nice.
Ernie, God bless him. It was during college football season, and there were 2 games on this particular Saturday. And Ernie called me about, I don't know, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. He said, Michael, can I come over? I said, sure. As he watched the 2 football games, he sat and did this. It's
Wow.
absolutely to scale. He even did stuff like this to show you the inside.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah, cool.
There was
So
one of the images showed a stairwell on the exterior of the house on one side. Was that accurate? No? Okay. Yeah, because it didn't match with the other plans. Okay. So let's see. So it's a 2-story house, 3 bedrooms, and it has a detached garage, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
much mirroring the neighbor. Yeah.
I didn't really have any questions. I don't know if anyone else did.
I think we
Is it-
talked about this already, but the grade, it looks like you're on a pretty good slope there. There are no issues with that, erosion or groundwater?
No, sir.
Okay.
When they did the soil test, I believe they went down at 40 feet or a little more before they got any moisture at all. And
Okay.
the concern with the liquefaction, they said that's not an issue at all.
Okay.
Mike, I drove by there the other day,
Uh-huh.
and I noticed a lot of clearing of the underbrush and some branches being cut and stuff.
Yeah, the neighbor Nettie, sweet lady, she had asked if she could remove 2 pine trees that were absolutely straddling the property line. And we said absolutely, and we split the cost with her. A good lady. And so that might be what you see. We haven't done anything really other than that. When they did the soil test and the big truck came up, that churned it up a little bit to that point where they did the soil test. But other than that, it's pretty well undisturbed. Up on the crown, there's a lot of ice plant.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty, well, it doesn't look like it's much steeper than the 2 houses next door, though. I mean, that
Yeah,
slope's
about the
pretty
same.
consistent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when mom and dad walked the lots before the auction, that was the particular point lot on Pasadena Drive. And dad said it sure would be nice to have that one. So that's the one he bid on.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice lot.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We hear a lot of stories about people ready to build, and then the moratorium,
Yep.
then the prohibition set in, and 40
And
years later.
yeah, we had a particular difficulty in 92. The neighbors, Ron Bliss and Nina, I think, Ron and Nina Bliss back in 92, they called my parents in Redondo Beach. I had just come, I was here and working at Morro Bay High School. And they called my parents in Redondo, and Mr. Bliss said that there was sand blowing from mom and dad's lot onto his property. And could he, Bliss, go ahead and ice plant some kind of ground cover? And dad, being dad, said absolutely. And dad then said, let me split the cost with you, trying to be a good neighbor. And dad said, my father was a very good judge of people. And he called me, he says, Michael, something's wrong. He said, it doesn't feel right. He said, can we come up? I said, absolutely. So they came up on a Sunday from Redondo Beach in 92 and picked us up in San Luis, and we drove out. And the vision that I had, if you remember, those of you that are my age, the Lawrence of Arabia and Lawrence standing on the sand dune. We get there and Mr. Bliss is up on the crown and he's got a shovel and he's standing there and it's a little windy. And this is bizarre. And we walk up the slope of the property and we barely make it to the crown, and he turns around and sees us up there. And a half a dozen folks that were there with shovels and wheelbarrows didn't say hi, didn't continue, took off running. I mean, they set the world record. I mean, if that ended up in court, and the Blisses took 280 cubic yards of dirt from mom and dad's crown on their lot because they had no backyard next door. And they then moved it all over. That caused a tumultuous time. And that was factoring into the archaeological study that they were doing. And I still had the pictures and everything else to show that the trauma that had been created with the lot. Because when the Coastal Commission found out about it, mom and dad said, not us. And the Coastal Commission said, we don't care. You adjudicate that in a court of law. Fix it. So my parents had to spend north of $80,000 back in 92 to fix the lot. So there's a lot of field in it now.
Somebody was trying to get in. Oh.
Jeff,
I got him.
Oh, Jeff. Okay. I think we have one more person trying to get in, which is Mike Tutt. I'm trying to tell him in email how to do it.
Yeah, yeah, he's out.
Oh.
Anyway, any other questions for Michael?
No, not for
Okay.
me.
All right. Then, do we want to move this? Are we all in favor of moving this to the consent agenda at the LOCAC meeting?
I am.
Yeah.
Is anybody
Do we need
opposed?
a second?
I'm
Do we need a
opposed
second?
to it, so it
Larry,
keep
you want it to go on the regular
regular
agenda?
agenda.
Okay,
And I'd like to make the motion that it go on the regular agenda because of concerns of our aquifer and water concerns. Mike, no, I think it's a great project. I'd like to see it go forward. I'd like to see building here in Los Osos. But the Basin Management Committee came up with their second modeling, and it's showing concerns about water in our basin.
Sure.
And so I want to
it's legit.
tell the building committee, the building that there are concerns about our aquifer. You know, nothing against your project. It's general. It's all the projects. The next one online, not the next one, but the third one we have is again another water use for our basin.
Just a question for my own edification.
Sure.
Is water purview within our charter?
Well, I mean,
if so, every project is
I
gonna
mean,
be,
you know, I mean, yeah, water is an issue. I mean, that is true.
right.
But
But are we the watchdogs for water? That's all I want to know.
well, I mean, the reality is that we can't move it to the consent agenda without a unanimous vote of our committee. So if Larry wants it on the regular agenda and wants to bring up the water issue, that, you know, he has every right to do that. So we'll go ahead and put it on the regular agenda. All that means, Mike, is that it's just going to be discussed by the council as opposed to being on the consent agenda. So our committee is kind of like the I don't want to say gatekeeper, that's not correct, but we are kind of help the applicant kind of say, okay, this project's ready to go to the regular council, because the council is the one that makes the final recommendation. We don't have any powers to make recommendations to the planning commission or the planning department rather. That is the purview of the council, and we cannot speak on behalf of the council. So so it just means that we're just going to discuss this. It will be open for discussion. People can raise any issues they want to raise. And then the council make a decision on whether they are in favor of the project or against the project. But of course, approval of the project is not up to us, not up to LOCAC. It's up to the planning commission. And then eventually the board of supervisors if So, okay.
It's not been an easy process.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't, I'm sure. Okay, then it'll be on the next LOCAC meeting, which is the fourth Thursday. And do you know that date, Molly?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to back this up. You know, that again, we put it on the regular agenda for the next meeting, and so that a motion is made on it and voted on here.
Well, we don't vote. I mean, we vote. Our two votes are consent agenda or regular agenda. Those are the two things we vote on.
Well, then regular agenda. I want it voted on.
That's what. Yeah, because we don't have it's not unanimous, so it goes to the regular agenda.
I'm happy to second it.
Okay.
And then we can do a vote.
Well, it really doesn't need a vote because it's either 100% consensus or not. So if we don't have 100% consensus, then it has to go by
But-
policy on the regular agenda.
But don't we have to vote because we've made a motion?
There
Right
isn't a
now?
motion. It's just
I don't
the
think we
question
need the
was, do we
motion.
have a consensus?
Oh, I thought we were doing a motion for this. Okay,
No, it's just the consensus. We don't have consensus.
okay, I see what you're saying. All right, our next full LOCAC meeting, when this item, Michael, will be on there, is Thursday, August 28th. And that one is also by Zoom, 6:30 p.m. And you go to the same website, locac.info, and you click on the first meeting, which is the Los Osos, the full Los Osos Community Advisory Board.
And the agenda will be out about, it comes out about 3 days before the meeting, 3 or 4 days before the meeting.
Excuse me, Ernie, one moment.
All right. Thanks, Michael. It's good to see you. Good
Thank you.
luck.
Yeah,
We'll
thank
see you
you.
at the LOCAC meeting.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. So Molly, do we want to, well, why don't we move the vacation? Do you think Mr. Tut's going to be here?
Well, he was trying to get on, but I think he's not very tech savvy, so I
Okay.
texted him again with how to get on, but, I talked to him extensively. I'd be happy to tell you what he said if you wanted to.
Well, since we got Jeff here, let's go ahead and go to Jeff's project and then
Okay.
we'll circle back to the vacation rental.
Okay,
So, all right. So, Jeff, you can unmute yourself and, should be good to go.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Jeff Edwards, and I'm appearing for the lost track of the number of times here on behalf of Mr. Van Beurden. And so this project, as many of you know, is an extended stay hotel condominium. And I believe we're returning to the Land Use Committee in light of the fact that we've changed the number of units from 10 to 12. Does anybody remember that discussion?
I do remember that discussion, but I thought it was also because you were gonna get us information, which you did get us from.
Which, yeah, it
Your
was also that some of
consultant.
the information on the informational hold that's been completed now.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the information's in. We have, I think, we're on the throes of an accepted application. I should have a letter tomorrow. So we've answered all the questions. But as to the number of units, the Coastal Commission has a policy that they like to see a certain number of units or a percentage, 25% to be exact, to be included in visitor serving projects along the coast. It's a policy that doesn't really have much more than that. And so it's up to the various applicants to determine how they want to address the policy. So what we've done is we've taken one unit in each of the two buildings, so one of 5 units, and converted that into 2 units. So in each building, we now have 6. And so the idea is that these smaller units are affordable by design. They're going to be offered at a much less of a rate. And so this is how we're addressing the Coastal Commission policy. And in fact, we have 4 of the 12 units are these affordable by design. So we actually think it's a better program in that we have 33% of the total for affordable or expressing affordability. So I think that's about it. I wanted to quickly touch on a question Larry raised in the other matter, and that's water. Not only do we have a will-serve letter from Golden State, which I guess some discount that, but more importantly, what we've done is we've been able to take the existing water use on the site, and we have a professional engineer analysis that indicates that we'll not be using any additional water for this project. And we're able to do that by performing a number of other indoor and outdoor retrofits on the existing complex. If you recall, this is the final building in a now a 6-building complex. So we have a number of things we can do to the existing facilities to conserve enough water for this. So that's addressed. We have a number of other things, but maybe I'll pause right now for some questions if there are any.
Anybody have any questions for Jeff?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, Molly.
So you're gonna like retrofit other buildings, what, faucets and things like that, toilets?
Faucets, toilets,
And
irrigation.
that gets you enough to
Yeah.
offset the water usage?
Correct. That's what the professional engineer that prepared the analysis concluded.
Okay.
And the counties reviewed that and accepted it.
Okay, so I guess my other part, I'm not sure if it's really a question, but my concern, I'm also a former fire inspector, so I have some code background. I just don't, I look at a building and I look at, okay, what is the use being proposed? And to me, this property, in reality, it seems less like a hotel and more like either an apartment building or an Airbnb. To me, honestly, it looks like an apartment. If it was existing, it would have been like an apartment building that was then converted into an Airbnb. So to me, it doesn't really have, doesn't really meet the criteria to me of a hotel. Although the consultant you got about, having a hotel without 24-hour staff, they did say that the building's going to have fire sprinklers and an alarm system that are tied to the fire department. So if something happens with that, they get notified automatically. And they do have exiting that goes directly from the unit to the exterior of the building. So that part is good. But again, I just go back to kind of like what actually makes it a hotel as opposed to an apartment or an Airbnb. So I'm looking more at the way the building is proposed to being used. To me, it doesn't fit the criteria of a hotel. So that's my concern about the project. Because if it was an apartment building or an Airbnb, they wouldn't be allowed in those. Well, they wouldn't be allowed as commercial properties. So
I think thank you for those comments. I think we've discussed some of the compatibility questions, and the whole debate is how do we accommodate visitors? And it's not a residential vacation rental. It's in the middle of a commercial area. It's surrounded by commercial properties for the most part. The occupancy determines whether it's a hotel, and that's anything less than 30 days. So it's a 2-story structure. I think that came up in the past. And I would like to clarify for the record, one of these many statistics for the project. In the project description that's in the agenda, it discusses a total new site disturbance is approximately 25,614 square feet. And I'd like to correct that. And the more accurate number, a lot of numbers in this project, but the more accurate number is 18,872 square feet. And that was prepared by our civil engineer. So if there are not any other questions, I would ask that this be placed on LOCAC's consent agenda for August 28th. I think we've answered all the questions. We've addressed the water situation. And so I would ask again that we be transmitted accordingly.
Any other questions for Jeff?
Jeff, just a comment real quick. I think it's a great project that was designed, in a commercial area, and it's probably needed in our community and stuff. I still have the water issue. You've got your engineers that have designed and I'm sure calculated everything, and but I still question just water use. I'm concerned about water use in our community. You know, nothing we can do about it, but
Larry, that I'm equally concerned. I attend all the Basin Management Committee meetings, and as you know, I participate fairly extensively. Um, so I'm all about water neutrality, and really that's what Los Osos is all about. That's the county policy. No development occurs without being water neutral. That's the theme.
Title 19.
That's the underlying situation. And frankly, as many of you may know, our urban use is about 1,000 acre feet. And frankly, I'd like to see it stay at 1,000 acre feet, and allow development. So we again observe the water neutrality. I think we can grow somewhat and maintain that about 1,000 acre feet, which is the current demand. So I agree. I'm all about water neutrality and very concerned about our sustainability.
yes, I realize that, Jeff. I've known you a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm opposed to the project, Jeff, but I think this is way too complicated of a project to go on the consent agenda. I think the LOCAC body will want to discuss this. This is much more complicated than any other project we've dealt with. So I would not consent to it going on the consent agenda. I would not be in favor of that. I think it needs to move forward to the council, and it needs to be discussed by the council fully.
I will look forward to the discussion.
Okay,
We don't need a vote.
any other comments? Okay, then, Jeff, we're gonna move it on to the
Sure.
council
Thanks a lot.
for next Thursday. Does that work for you?
The August 28th, is that what you're?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works fine. Thank you. Sure.
Okay,
We're
all
good.
right.
Take
Thanks,
it
Jeff.
easy. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so Molly, why don't you go ahead and do the vacation rental?
Okay, all right. So, this is for, Mike Tutt, local guy who lives on Willow Drive, which is on the east side of South Bay. I think he has an 8-acre property, and he has his own home there, and he has a second home that he built for his mother, who then later passed away. So he has a second house on the property where he will continue living. He wants to turn this into a vacation rental. I think it's a 4-bedroom house. The drawings he sent in were not very specific, but it's a 4-bedroom house, I think, with a couple of bathrooms. It's got lots of outdoor parking, a circular driveway for the tenants. He is not going to allow any access to the existing garage at that house for the tenants because he uses that for his own storage. And he's looking to do a vacation rental, he said, that is, quiet people who want to come to the coast and, enjoy the coast, but he's not wanting, any aspect of large parties or anything like that. And I don't think there's any issues with it being close to neighbors. Again, he's got 8 acres, 2 houses. He'll be on site. Yeah, I personally didn't see any issues with it. I don't know if other people have questions about it or not, but I think these vacation rentals that are on larger properties, they're going to have less of an impact on the neighborhood because there's more space around them. So there's not going to be like a noise disturbance like if you were in the main part of town where the lots are a lot smaller. So yeah, I didn't find any issues with it myself.
Larry, did you have a question?
Yeah, he's in my neighborhood here. So
Yeah.
There's the main house in front. Then my understanding before then, over the garage there was a rental unit, and he's got a trailer parked next to the house. So
You mean that somebody's living
trying to
in?
understand where he's living, if he's living in the unit above the garage or
It
in the
looks like
trailer.
from the aerial map, it looks like the house that was going to be the vacation rental was maybe closer to LOVR. And then there was another house more going north, like towards Morro Bay, in terms of where the two houses were situated.
Well, this house is it's right off of Willow. It's got a big turnabout right
Yeah.
off of Willow in front of the house. It looks like a vacation rental already.
I think it is a rental house right now, like a
yeah,
long-term
I mean, it's a
rental.
a very nice house.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, it is a nice
But
house.
I couldn't see the back of the house, but there looks like there's from the aerial map, when I looked on Google Earth, it looked like there was like an ADU or something else behind there.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know.
But there was more than one unit on the property, but the house that he was renting, going to be the vacation rental, was the house that's right there in front.
Is in front, but then which house is he living in?
He told me
I don't
he
know.
lived in the other house.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of houses on that property. It'd be nice
Yeah.
if he was here to clarify it. I'm for putting it on the regular agenda so I can bring up the question and ask him which house he's living in.
Okay.
There used to be a lake behind the house that he had a old commercial fishing boat in, tied to the
Huh.
pier.
Is that lake still there? I mean, it shows up on the map. Is it just dried up now?
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
when you do Google Earth, you can see it. It's right in between his house and South Bay Boulevard.
Yeah. Just everyone wondered where the fishing boat was, and told them it's on Tut's property over there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
So anyway, put it on the
you want it on the regular agenda? Okay.
and I can ask him. Hopefully, he'll be there.
Yeah. The only question I had about it is it like they're supposed to be 500 feet from other rentals or something like that?
And I can
that?
address that in general. So the people at the county planning department have told me multiple times that they will not even let someone submit an application unless
not
they have
already.
already checked on that issue.
Okay.
Right.
Then
They
they
do all the
have
vetting
maps
to the
check
ordinance.
on it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it fits the ordinance before they send it to us.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Good to know. Thank you.
That was my question too, Jacob.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've heard come up a lot, is because I know people worked really hard to get that put in, and so we don't get too many politely, you know.
But they vet it first before it even comes to us.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay. Any other questions on that?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna and if you could please ask Mr. Tutt if he could be there at the LOCAC meeting.
Yeah, I will.
It's going to be hard to approve it if he's not there.
Okay.
Can't answer our questions.
Is there any way we could get an answer before the meeting?
Well, I mean, I could call him right now and see if I could get him on the phone, because he was trying to
Well,
get
let's ask Larry, because he's the one with the question. Do we want to see if we can call him, Larry, and see if we can ask the question?
That'd be fine.
Okay, let me call him right now. I can hold
And
his.
in the meantime, Julie Tacker, I see she's got her hand up.
Yeah, let's finish doing this first.
Okay.
Well, she might have
the public.
I wonder if she has a question on this particular project. She might.
All right. Well, we can ask.
Let's ask her first.
Julie, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good evening, Julie. My family owns the property to the south of the Tut.
Oh, okay.
And the pond is still there. The boat is long destroyed and taken away, Larry.
Darn, I thought
long
so.
ago. It rotted in the water there. I have no issues with having a vacation rental there.
Okay.
I just wanted you to know that. As far as other dwellings, I'm pretty sure there's just the main house and the ADU that is on top of the garage that it was the mother's house. And I don't keep track of where Mike sleeps, but he was in the house that his mom was in last I looked. I don't live there, but I do go over there. My granddaughter and my kid lives over there, my sister. Anyway, so he is in one of the homes on the property. So if it's the 4-bedroom home, that's the main house that he's going to be renting out as the vacation rental. And you know, the rules on that is 4 times a month, no more than, you know, 7 days stay or whatever the actual thing is. It's not intrusive on such a large piece of property for sure. It's far enough away from everybody. So,
So, Julie, I have a question for you. So are you saying there's like a separate unit on top of that house, the house that's by the circular driveway?
no, behind that house is the
It's a
2-story
garage,
garage below, and above is his mom's apartment.
right? So that's
Oh,
the other building on the
That's
property.
the
Yeah.
other building.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know of
Okay.
any other dwellings on that.
yeah, I'm confused because he told me the other day that the 4-bedroom house was a house he built for his mom that his mom lived in, and he said he lived in the other house. So it kind of
I think that's somehow there's confusion there. The 4-bedroom house is the main house that was built originally, and then when his mom got elderly, he built the second dwelling. It's a you know, the parcels out here are allowed to have another 1,200-foot home,
yeah.
and so I don't know that even that meets the 1,200-foot criteria, but it was stacked with a garage below.
So like the garage was on the first floor and then the house was,
Yeah,
the living
stairway.
space was above.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
You can
But
see
I-
it on you can see it on the satellite photo in their filing.
Yeah.
There's like 2 buildings.
Does that answer your question, Larry?
Yeah, as long as it was described he's living in his grandmother's house,
His mother.
which
Yeah.
mother's, which
It
is
was.
the 4-bedroom, which was the 4-bedroom house. Now he
No,
might
that's-
have built that for her, and
No,
then
the 4-bedroom he built when his kids were little, and the whole family lived there.
yeah, okay.
And
So
then
I was just wording clarity.
and then
and if he's-
he got divorced, and my brother married his wife.
There you go.
This is a
Peyton
small
Place.
town.
That is 27 years ago. They're happily still married. So,
Good
um,
deal.
Well,
but yeah,
keep
those
it in the
kids are all
neighborhood.
grown.
and so if he's living in the one over the garage, that's fine. Then the
yeah,
house
then
is
that
fine.
makes the big house available for
Yeah.
the vacation rental.
Yeah,
That makes
And
sense.
so the big house is the 4-bedroom house, right?
Yeah, yeah, with
Okay,
the
and
circular
so-
driveway in the front.
That's the one he's saying he wants to turn into a vacation rental.
Yeah, that
then
would
my
be-
my question is answered. It can go
Okay.
on the consent agenda.
Okay,
Okay, all right. Is everybody else okay with it going on the consent agenda?
yeah.
Okay, then we'll move that to the consent agenda for Thursday. All right, and then Molly,
And
you can
thank-
talk about the plan for what
Yeah,
the
so
Yeah.
our
this is a
rep,
little different.
our rep at the county planning department, planner Mason Denning, I was talking with him the other day, and he wanted to know if our land use committee would be willing to work with an applicant before they actually submitted a pre-application or any kind of official application. They kind of, I think, want to gauge the interest or lack of interest in our community for their project. So the idea is the corporation, I guess, that owns Ralph's also does gas stations that are kind of a Costco type gas station with a kiosk.
Big one.
Not a mini mart type gas station, but just a gas station where you go and get gas. And then a car wash with recycled water. So they are looking at doing something like that associated with the Ralph's grocery store, but not on the Ralph's property. I think it's maybe, I wasn't quite clear where he was saying it was going to be proposed for, but it might have been across the street on right across LOBR from there. And so anyway, I think he was just asking if we would be willing to have them come to our next meeting and just tell us show us what they're kind of thinking and get some feedback from us. Because they were, I think they were concerned that the community would have a real strong reaction against it. So anyway,
This
I
would
don't know
really
what other people think.
Yeah, this is just informal. This is not an
Yeah.
official presentation. They're just using us as a sounding boards essentially.
Yeah,
And so I didn't see the harm in it, but I wanted to get everybody else's opinion.
yeah, I agree with you. I don't know what other people think.
I'm fine with it.
Early feedback sounds good.
Yeah, my one car wash water use,
Yeah.
and then secondly, do we want our downtown, main corridor, just lined with gas stations?
Yeah, no, I think that's what they're asking, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that's
think-
what the feedback
Exactly.
they want, Larry,
Yeah. And
That's-
I personally don't,
I don't think we need another gas station in Los Osos, but
yeah.
anyway, but yeah, that's fine. I mean, we can
If
put them
they-
on the,
If they want to come and test the water, I'm
Yeah.
gladly to talk with them,
Yeah, we could just give them our feedback. I think that's
Yeah.
all they're asking for, is some feedback. So I
so,
can,
let-
oh,
so-
go ahead.
So Molly, I think we should agendize it as a business item and not in our plan reviews.
Okay,
So we'll put it there and we'll just do it at the end of the meeting.
okay, and I'll ask them if they want to come to our next meeting, and so if they
Okay.
do, then I'll put it on
Just,
the next one.
yeah, just
Larry.
to say, this is where LOCAC and getting the word out and getting the community involved, which we haven't done very much. Besides for us giving them this company the input, it'd be nice if we could, get other community members, members of the community to come and give their input also. And I don't know
Yeah.
how to get the word out. I will try next door. That's the gossip sheet.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the suggestion to him, is that really, we're just, 7 people here on this committee, but why don't you have a town hall meeting? Why don't you have a meeting and invite the community, put an ad in the paper or put it out next door and invite the community and get the feedback from the community, Is this something
Yeah,
you
and
want or don't
let
want?
them do it, right?
Yeah, it's not our job to do it. I think they just wanted to come to us because I think, talking to planning said, well, there's this organized group that meets,
Yeah.
this is they have regular meetings. You
Yeah.
can talk to them.
But
Okay.
that's where we did used to have an email list, somewhere
Mhm.
that
Yep.
would send out to interested people, what's
But I don't know if we want to have them all at our LOCAC
Yeah, I
meeting,
I
though. That's
don't,
what I'm saying. I
don't think this
I
is a
think,
place for a public forum.
yeah, I think if they want to have a public forum, let them hold their own public forum,
That's wait a minute. LOCAC is for public forum. Don't
Okay.
forget, we're the Los Osos Community Advisory Council.
I know,
We're
but we
supposed
work
to
in an official
represent-
capacity on stuff that's referred to us from the planning department.
Yes, and if this is something from the planning department,
It's not. That's what we're saying. It's not from the planning department.
Yes,
It's not.
it is.
They haven't even put.
It's a public thing to come out to, and why do they use us? Why do they talk with us? Because we represent the community and we try to get the community involved. I try to get the community involved in as much stuff going on, whether it's actually a permit or something down the line, to get their input, here, and then it goes to LOCAC, and that's a second stop for the community to get involved in what's going on here in the planning department. We're sub planning department.
I don't disagree with you at all. All I'm saying is this is not coming from the planning department. The planning department just acts as like they said, hey, there's this group. And so they asked Molly if we'd be interested in hearing what they had to say. And I didn't see a harm in it, but you know, I just think it would be a long meeting if we sat down and had the whole community come out in our little, we wouldn't be able to do anything else in our land use committee meeting.
No, there's ways to handle it,
Okay.
you know, and that's why we have 3-minute talk thing, you know, and then if there's a consensus, you know, people can raise their hand. How many people are for this? How many people are against it? We don't need to hear the public repeat themselves over and over and over and over again.
Mhm.
You know, but we can give.
Larry, I think that this is just such a preliminary thing. I think the idea was just to get some feedback from our group. It's not like absolutely no decisions would be made on our part based on them telling us about an idea they have for a project. We could give them some feedback. We could then recommend them to, you know, do a town hall or a survey or whatever some kind of outreach they could do in the future, but they haven't even submitted anything to the county. So I think it's just, I don't know. I think we don't want to blow it up into something huge when they're just trying
I'm
to
not blowing
get
it
a
up
little
into
feedback.
something huge, just informative
Okay.
to inform the community. Somebody wants to build another gas station on Los Osos Valley Road. You know,
Well, I
Yeah.
think, yeah,
Jacob has his
Jacob,
hand up.
yeah, Jacob,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I, not the specific, I don't know, gas station washing thing project separate from that, but the idea of the county early routing us proposals for like taste testing in the community. I think that's awesome. I think that would let us have an early say in some of what the LOVR commercialization becomes, because that whole thing is supposed to be developed. I don't know, eventually, someday, maybe. Like we built a whole community plan and book on that and said we want more shops and all these different things. And this sounds like a small, limited, you know, okay, but an opportunity that we can do that. And we could keep it small and not tell everybody on the first one of these that comes through, see how it works, play with it, develop any process if we need to, and then proceed. And if later we get a big and interesting project, somebody, I don't know, wants to build another grocery store or something like large or department, I don't know, I'm just, you know, picking random things, but like something that's a big and interesting project for the community, we would already be in a place where, hey, would you guys like to come provide feedback? We have a forum for it. I think that's awesome. I think that's just as a generality, again, not the specific project. I think that's a great idea. That's all. I'm done.
yeah, I mean, let's just see how this goes and it could turn into something, you know, that this becomes something that the county does. I mean, I think it's great that the county's like saying, hey, you know, we don't even have an application yet, but we want to just get your feedback whether you think this is even a good idea or not, you know. So
I'm
if
all
people
for
want
it.
to come to the meeting, you know, that's fine.
I'm all for it.
Yep. Okay. Anything else for the good of the order?
I heard
Yes, Larry.
you folks were talking about a live meeting, you know, in some
Yeah.
of the places and stuff. In the past, we used the community center, and they gave us a little room off the corner, um, which was good most of the time because there was about this many people there. When we got to contentious issues, they actually let us use the main thing. That was one. Then we moved to Sea Pines, that has 2 rooms. And then one of the reasons we moved was cost. We try to save our few dollars here and there, and moved over to Sea Pines, and they have 2 conference rooms, and they gave us one of the smaller ones. The Baywood Inn down there on 2nd Street has a very nice conference room. We just we haven't actually used it, but they had another event there, and so I went there and I saw it, and it's fairly accessible. Trying to keep things in our community.
Mhm.
And so those are three options for places, that LOCAC has either been, or land use has either been, or other places. I think trying to use one of the school gymnasiums or something like that, the school facilities are much more complicated and too hard.
We would have to pay for all three, right, Larry?
Yeah.
They're not gonna donate an evening for the good of the
Well,
community.
if somebody sweets talk them, wants to
Yeah,
do
you don't ask, you don't get.
Sea Pines did us for $20, a meeting. So that was $20 a month.
That's
You know,
phenomenal.
They also gave the fire department the other room, which was bigger. They work with the community, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
We do have the resources for it.
Yeah.
eh, LOCAC and land use have not used any of the resources, but we used to get them from the Bruce Gibson would write us a check for expenses, and that was there. So the supervisors and stuff do support LOCAC and subcommittee.
Although the county stopped the budget this year, it got cut, so it all goes through the CAO's office now. There's no more community support grants from the supervisors.
Oh, okay.
But we do have money in the bank, and we did put in a request for our last request for the end of the fiscal year to spend down the rest of the money that Bruce had, and that's for future meetings and things like that. So
Okay.
there is money. You're right. And
Just-
$20 is not going to break the bank, right?
Yeah. I mean, personally, if we had needed the money, I would make a donation.
We got that. We got that on
support,
recording here, Larry.
Huh?
So we have that on recording,
Yes. I do feel strongly for LOCAC and the subcommittees and stuff. I think it is a good community outreach, and for people to get to know everybody in the community.
Right.
And dollar
So if
amounts like that.
if people want
we
to
could fund
ask around and get some ideas, then we have to go to LOCAC and get the approval for the funds, but I'm not opposed to having in-person meetings. I think that's important, and Zoom is obviously convenient. But before, I don't know when you guys started meeting on Zoom. Was that because of COVID or?
That was COVID. Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah. So,
You know.
I mean, obviously before that, before 2019 or 2020, you guys were meeting in person, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, that was my 2 cents because I had heard.
No,
the
I
conversation
appreciate that, Larry. Yeah,
beginning.
so if you have any suggestions or cost or that kind of stuff, let's start putting that together, and let's try to find a place. And Molly and I will look, and then we'll talk to Ron and see if it's possible to use the CSD and that kind of thing. So, and I just the one last thing on the meeting, my thought, I don't know how everybody else feels, but if we're gonna have an in-person meeting, then I don't think we should try to do a Zoom meeting at the same time. That's really difficult
I
to
would
do
agree.
in person and Zoom, that we just have an in-person meeting.
I
guess
and I
there-
don't I got to talk to Jacob or somebody computer savvy. I don't see it being that difficult to do both.
It's hard to do participation on Zoom when they can just watch the meeting, because it's like watching a film. But if they want to be involved and raise their hand and ask questions, then that's when it really starts to get complicated as far as dealing with the people online and the people in the audience, and then it becomes.
I would say to
little-
go talk to CSD first, since they're set
Yeah.
up for hybrid meetings already because of their
Yep,
own.
yep.
They have a facility, so it's like we can, if they'll
Right.
let us, like we can assume ourselves into the tech stuff to do that. That is the hard part. It's having the setup basically. And
Right.
so if it's a space that we're, you know, one of these meeting rooms or something like that, the difficulty is the setup and tear down each time and like not mucking it up. So
Right. And you need somebody to operate it because I can't run a meeting in person and run Zoom at the same time.
yeah.
And then also if we went to a situation where we were just all in person, then we would have to have, I guess, an alternate way to record it,
Yeah.
which is probably not a big deal, but it's just something to consider.
Yeah, I know the San Luis, Port of San Luis, they have their meetings and stuff, and they just have a reel-to-reel recorder,
Quarter.
you know,
Wow. Okay.
and it's documented there on the reel, you know, so.
Yeah, that's just really all this is.
I'm sure we get a little higher tech than that, but
Yeah.
the old reel-to-reel worked really good, you know.
Right. Okay, well, let's keep working at
Thanks.
it. And our goal is
Yeah.
to try to get together in person.
Yeah, and I was gonna bring up too that if everybody in land use wanted to get together, I've got, I live on some property here that, you know, could
Uh-huh.
accommodate a few,
A number of people.
yes, you know, so
Yeah.
that's an offer out there, you know, so we can all shake
Thank you,
hands,
Larry. Yeah,
It'd be
see what
nice.
we look like besides
Yeah.
for Zoom, you know.
no, I
So
think that'd be
just
great.
think about that. Keep it out there, and
Okay,
you know.
all right. Anything else?
How
All
about a
right, well, thank
motion
you,
to
everybody.
adjourn?
We will adjourn 7:39 PM.
All right. Thank you,
All
everyone.
right,
Okay.
have a good rest of your week, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.